Looks like it's gonna do an open test drive and hit the overnight low. Let's see. Overnight low's at 52. I like a reclaim of 72 if it does reclaim there. They're reclaiming here. See if they can hold. I don't like it if the reclaims here. They're trying to reclaim VWAP, but so far are unable to. So I would like the long here, but that VWAP's acting as resistance. It cleared it. We'll hold it for now since it cleared. He's all over it. It cleared it, but then it failed again below. Yeah, it's coming down. That was the trap on me on my end, it looks like. If it holds or not, but it needed to clear that VWAP, and it rejected it right as it cleared it. Yeah, it's a strong rejection. Then it gets stopped out here. The next area, if it doesn't do one here, fail to break down here, the next area is the overnight low. should stop me out already. Should hit right here, but it's not. It's not doing it. Interesting. A lot of volume down here. Should break. Should come break here just a little bit. Somehow it's holding on by a thread. I just bid here just because it's so close, but there it is. Okay, cool. It wasn't making any sense why it wasn't breaking yet. Yeah, the next level down to try is going to be the overnight low. Hmm? Yeah. There's the overnight low. They're coming for it. And Q is about to tap the overnight low as well here. See if they do a reclaim of the overnight low. I'll try it again. Oh, I need to refresh these two. And Q just probed the overnight low just now. This thing just off the jump just failed completely. Well, Yeah, I would say like a reclaim. If I wouldn't say specifically, but if it's more than 10 points, it's probably not going to work out. If it's more than like depends on the VIX, but if it's more than 10 to 12 points, it's likely not going to work out on average. Something like that. I don't know. It just varies where the VIX is too. But on average, 10 to 12 points is like a decent spot to consider something not being valid anymore. Like, and I mean on the recovery, this is selling off pretty aggressively. This is good. That little bounce, it's immediately rejected. This 40 area is good. I like it too. It's a good support zone. Just the NQ is just slicing though. I think it's getting wrecked. There's activity here at this area, but I don't trust it. If they reclaim overnight low, I'm willing to try it against this 36 area. The dip below the overnight low. Yeah, I think so. At this point, like, I don't think the overnight low reclaim would be that great. Given that we've dipped 20 points past it now. Okay, this is getting aggressive. There's got to be a reason for this. This is just massive, dude. Just massive. What's the news? This is way too big. Off the jump to not be on anything. This is something going on. Let's see, what is it, dude? Yeah, this is getting really violent. They traversed the whole range already. I mean, I'm not gonna try this until it gets to 400 now. This is insane. This is an intense downside rip, bro. Let's see, 405. Hey, good morning, man. Welcome back, sir. What did it hit? 410? Nah. I don't know. There's no news. Just a bunch of chip stocks getting dumped. Good morning, Mr. AI. It's 420 reclaim here. Okay. Like the first bid they're trying here, that holds 20. I'll try one here. 20s. It's the 20s that held from yesterday, so I'll try it, but I don't trust it, to be honest. I'm just gonna check it short quickly because this move down is it's very strong. I scaled half there at 432. 32 has to hold, but I think we want to go a little lower, honestly. I think they want to hit that 405 area or anything, but this 20 is holding okay. It's not great at all. They hit the value high at 29 and rejected so far, so not looking too hot. If they can't put it on a low and they reclaim 20 here, I'll buy more. Its volatility is going to be good at some point for a mean reversion trade, but for now it just seems like it's they're trying to find their footing for the bull side, if there is one. Pretty strong move down, dude. Let's see if we can get 20 again. It should swipe the low here. Doesn't it reclaims, I'll bid. Okay. I bid some there. It didn't swipe the low on that push, so my assumption is we go a little bit higher. Pick it off at the value. Oh, I need to change this. 7. It's not going to stop me out of the full position, so I'll make sure I have to do it manually. This is moving so fast. I can't even adjust the my stop loss. Yeah, my orders. Okay, so the 20s are not going to hold. At the last level I'm willing to try at this point. Otherwise, there's no more long thesis for me until we go way lower. Is this 405 area? It's got to probe into it and then hold. Okay, it's probe 405. Put wall's right below. And there's the put wall. If it holds below 96s, I do not want this anymore. 96s is my line in the sand. Yeah, it's like where every single pop is right. This is an insane dip. Honestly, we haven't had a move like this in ever. It's been a while. Like something broke under the hood. Okay, here's a 396. This is my last long here attempt. I won't like any other zone above this, honestly. Oops. It seems like whatever happened yesterday was a dud with the okay. It'll be my only trade here. This is there's one more zone below, but if this sells off like this, I don't think the bull side's gonna come until probably late in the day, like literally like the end of the day. End of the day move. Because this is one of those days where we probably just sell for the first 4 hours of the day and don't come back. If this doesn't recover anything here into where we're going. 16. Around there. So the put wall recovered. They didn't hold below the 96s on this little dip, so I like it. And then hopefully they can reclaim the 420 again, but we'll see. I'm taking profit at the Valerie low. It's below 16s, 416, and then gonna hold and see if they hold the 420 area, because the 420 tags we likely can come to 440s, like 438, 440 if it does all that. But we'll see. We're below the prior day low and accepting, rejecting from underneath. Coming back to below 396. I do not want to see this hold below 396, not one bit. 396 is like my line in the sand for this bull structure that we've been building, or not been building, but this consolidation we've been building. Any acceptance below that's why it says LIS. Is to me it's like it's breakdown mode for another 60-point move lower from the structure. Yeah, they're still accepting below 396. You can see they're spiking and then holding below 396 right there. It is not good at all, bro. They probe the low, see if they can reclaim 96 now. Whenever they make a new low, I give it a chance because they can trap on those probes. So that looks like might have been triggered it. That might have triggered it right there. They probed the low by a few ticks and then immediately popped. That might have been the trigger. About 3 more and see what that does here. So they right here, this little probe. I like that with the reclaim or push. Same target. They got to clear the prior day low. What is that? 404? 404. And then they'll do like a quick 10-point pop probably if they can't clear that. Which is where my initial take profit is. Yeah. 15 was the original target. I brought it down a couple points just to make sure, but we'll see. And then that's the Valor low. If they can hold 20s, then my assumption is they can test the 383, 440. So like right around here. 32 or 29 was the Valor low for 1, and then again at, well, I'll kind of go one level at a time. We're not there yet. We're not quite there yet, unfortunately. So 420 holds, then it's 3.8 to 4.4, or sorry, 3.8 to 4.8 to 40 is my next target. I have one at 2.9, which is where the first swing high was here, so I'll put one there. But then I'll aggressively take a lot of profit into 30s. That is like the low end of this structure. I'll see if I can get a drawing tool here in a sec. Yeah. Let me, hold on. Thanks. What was it? You're very good at instant analysis. You make money. I don't, but I lose it. Yeah, well, the instant analysis, like, this is why I do the newsletter, because it's my prep work, right? Like, I'm prepared for these days, these moves, because I already did the homework. I already know the levels I'm looking for, and I know which levels come. I already know like the areas of interest that I'm trading, and then what I'm looking for and the levels that come thereafter. I'm already prepared for the day. Before the market opens, like I know which levels I'm going to be targeting. Before the market opens, I took more here at 380, like I said. I'm just gonna hold a small position into VWAP right here, and it'll just be down to one lot I'm gonna get down to, because this area is massive. I don't really want to be positioned too big into this VWAP. I'm more happy scaling most of this and then giving myself room to add to the trade if it wants to continue to trend back up, if this is a full-blown reversal. But I don't want to have full exposure expecting a full extension in the other direction, because I don't trust the bulls given how strong we sold off. This is just, to me, a reversal for shorts to short again, to reload it essentially. So as you can see, I'm aggressively covering as it's going here. If it proves itself that it wants to hold, then it has to hold the overnight low. If it holds the overnight low, to me, that's telling me that this whole move down is done. Other than that, the overnight low should be an area where we probably get a rejection and we go lower if this is a true move down. So that's why I want to scale as much as possible, as close as we are to the overnight low / VWAP area. That's where I want to kind of get down to a few lots, so that way I'm still have exposure if it wants to trend, but also I'm also able to add if I want to higher. Nowhere near the original position size, just a small piece. Kind of like yesterday, where I was already green from a good structural area. I will add more. I will add more if it does a good reclaim. You know, not the original position size, but somewhere along the lines. Like a quarter size, you know, is what I'll do. But this is going to be it for me for now. I know the levels too, but you have the ability to hold on for a while, get stopped, suppress. Well, if you remember, if you go back to the video and you can clearly see that I bought more. This is where the structural idea of failed breakdowns, having an understanding of them, helps me, because this was an area of interest from the newsletter I gave. Right, we had a put wall which happened to work out. I didn't know the put wall would be there this morning. So that was structurally to me telling me that this area that I'm watching also has another layer of confluence. So it gives me higher conviction to add to the trade in bigger size because of that. The reason I added more right here was, like I said, we probed the low, this one, and then we immediately ramped. And that to me is telling me they trapped sellers there, because they did a very shallow probe of the low and then immediately reclaimed, and that tells me that they're forming a reversal, especially with some volatility like this. So that gave me conviction to add and to somewhat have an understanding they're going to reverse back into the 30s or around there. But it's one level at a time, because I said they got to first hold the value low at 16. And if they do, then they can do 30s, 40s, like I said. And where are we at right now? 40s, 30s. So the first reclaim was the 2016 area. If they held that, then I knew they could test 30s, 40s. 38 to 40 is what I said. So from here, this is like bull bear zone, right? From here, they got a lot of work to do. This is where the action becomes binary again. So we'll see. For now, this looks like a failed breakdown of yesterday's low, and it was just a liquidity grab. My assumption is someone did not get filled down here yesterday, and they wanted to get filled here today. Is my assumption. Someone did missed the entry here, and so they wanted to bring price down here. I don't know. But either way, we're positioned. This zone of interest right here was a plan to take long on the Substack newsletter. So the fact that there was just a put wall there kind of gave me some more confluence. So here was the plan. It was the 400. Same zone, only difference is this time around it held pretty well until the close. 400. Yeah, it would reclaim 415, 420. That was the that would have been the cleanest entry. I took the early entry. We'll see what happens here. If it goes, it goes. If not, you know, it's fine. I only have one lot at this point. So I'm open to adding to this trade since we're holding here now into the overnight low / VWAP. And I'm open to adding. The question for me right now is, if I add, where is my stop loss? Because it's not going to be at the lows anymore. It's going to have to be a little higher. So I'm trying to figure out where that may be. And right now I don't know. I know it has to be below VWAP. I just don't know exactly where the appropriate place is. So I'm going to figure that out as I let price do its thing right now. I got to give it some time to show me that it wants to hold above VWAP / overnight low. And then after that, I'll kind of, with time and consolidation, if they do it, I'll be able to figure out where the stop loss goes from here. This is not NASDAQ. I only trade the S&P. So I have a NASDAQ chart, but I do not trade the NASDAQ. I only trade the S&P. It's the only one I trade. So my entry is right here at 74.02, which is an ES price. 74.02. And these are my entries in blue, and then scales in yellow. And so I had gone stopped out twice earlier this morning on the trade. But I do not trade the NASDAQ. I just have a chart open. I look at it. I have another chart, 2 charts open for NASDAQ and the YM, but most of the time I reference it a lot because I reference the YM and the NQ. So no, I do not trade the NASDAQ, to answer that simply. Do you enter? No, I do not enter strictly on the tape. I enter strictly on failed breakdowns. I use the tape as a layer of confluence for the quality of the setup. The tape is just an added layer of information that I use for failed breakdowns. And that can vary how it's used. So if we're doing a failed breakdown of a VAL area low, but let's just say the IB low. It's a very clean example because you can actually go back to my videos on my live streams and you can see that I actually have live examples of trading this using the tape and the failed breakdown structure. So if we probe the IB low, so initial balance low, and the DOM is showing very light volume, meaning no volume or not a lot of participation as we probe below the IBL, that to me is giving me confirmation that this can reverse or put in a failed breakdown of the IBL. And I've taken that trade, I think 2 or 3 times on the live stream. They're all titled. It says IBL failed breakdown in the title. So that's an example of me using the tape as confirmation for a structural entry for a failed breakdown. So the strict parameters for entries are failed breakdowns. And then there's information that I use, like the tape, for confluence for that trade. So in this example today, it was like a confluence of the put wall that probed below, and then the initial spike that failed to hold below. The tape was just going to be violent today, so it was in confluence for me today. because the tape was violent for throughout the whole open. Like nothing had changed on the tape within my entry. I do not look at orders. I don't look at limit orders. I don't look at, like, to me all that stuff is useless. It has an element of importance, but it's like for the entry, for my entry, it's worthless. For the trade management, it's a little more useful. So I think it's mostly for trade management that I use it, for the limit or market orders, than I do for the actual entry itself. The entries have nothing to do with the market orders, limit orders, whatever it is happening there. Is that I don't add it, I don't use it as confluence. I usually use it for managing a trade, taking profit and stuff like that. The momentum of the tape is what I use to take profit. The momentum of the tape is, if it's like now the tape's slowing down, I wouldn't recommend it for entries. I don't know how to answer that. Like, what kind of trading are you doing? Because for my style of trading, I don't recommend it. But my style of trading is a very small fragment of ways to trade. So I cannot say yes. I would say it depends on your style of trading, right? So it's hard to say no. And it's hard to say yes. I trade that doesn't answer anything. So I have volume profiles too. You know, like having a volume profile, it's a vague response for a trading strategy. What is your trading strategy is the right question I guess I should ask. Because I have a weekly volume profile over here. I have another volume profile over here. So like that doesn't really answer the question. It just tells me what you use to filter out areas of interest. Having a volume profile is not a style of trading. It is simply a tool to find areas of interest. Look at the VP and TPO single prints and look for DOM entries, either reversal or breakout kind of stuff. I mean, so my assumption is when you say all that, okay, is that, well, I'll give you some examples. That I don't know. I mean, you gave a vague. It's too much to type sometimes, maybe. But what I would say is, if you're looking for, so say we have a balanced day, right? I actually have a profile here. I don't know what I'm doing. So we have a balanced day. You have a balanced session that forms something similar like this. The way to utilize the DOM is to identify price as it probes away or back in to the extremes. Now, when these profiles are developing, they don't look this clean, but you can have a reference from a prior session. Most times this is a gap down day. And what you look for really in the DOM is like, what does participation look like as it leaves the extreme? Right, it could be either up or down in participation on the tape, on the DOM. Is it aggressive? Was it initially aggressive and then all the activity faded out? And then if so, you have like a cluster of net negative delta on the column, this column here on the right. Right, those are just tiers of information that you can use to add context to a short setup that it's going to come back into value and then transverse all the way down here. Like the tape is just, it's a tool to give context to a move or a trade setup. It's not an indicator within itself, but a tool. At least that's the way I would use it. So if you see price leaving an extreme, a balanced area extreme, and it goes away with momentum, which is more often than not what will happen, is you'll have strong pushes out of it with tape accelerating. But then at some point it pauses, it stalls out, momentum dries up, right? And then you get a lot of negative clusters of delta at a high. And that's, you structure that on top of, say, a prior day high, like we did yesterday. It was a prior day high. Right here. Prior day high. You had a imbalance away. And then you had the tape subsiding in amount of demand or activity. Then the setup would be on a reclaim back into the value area with the tape accelerating again. Accelerating meaning momentum picks back up, but in the downside direction. That gives you some confirmation that we failed to break out. We're tucking back into value. That example would be a reversal within itself that you just explained that you look for. I would use it in that regard, like the momentum increasing. That's not within itself an indication that it's gonna sell off, but rather it's the difference between the push away being met with net delta, negative delta, and then that delta absorbing, or the momentum of the tape slowly being drained away from the market, being removed, and then the momentum coming back into value, increasing. The speed of the tape increases as it comes back into value. That is an indication of a reversal there. And you can use that in the inverse as well, right? So that's a way to use it. I hope that explains it. For breakouts, it's going to be pretty simple. You just want to see good volume and momentum breaking out of a value area or an IBH, whatever it is. You know, the tricky part about breakouts, which I personally don't like, is it's like a house of it's a game of musical chairs. You know, I personally don't like playing that game when it comes to trading. I hope that answers the question. It's my regular trading method. I don't know. So profits so early is relative to every person's understanding of what their plan is, right? So you know, that's fine. That's your system. I have mine. Taking profits early is very relative to each person's trading style. To some people, my take profits might have been very far away for some people who scalp, and they're like, whoa, you're holding it for 10 points? That's crazy. And then for others like yourself, it's like, it's early. I think for me, it's not early. It's where it needs to be. It's part of my plan. So it's part of my plan. That's all I can say. I look at my plan, right? I type them out every single day. And if my plan when I drafted this idea said take profit at 32 to 27 and again at 44s, that's what I'm going to do. Oh, it says so whenever price approaches my level, I should look at the momentum of the beating the order themselves or just noise. I think the orders can be noise, certainly. I think the orders certainly can be noise. We don't really know the intent of the trade. We can assume. I think that the easiest way to find the intent of a trade is to simply, if there's big orders happening at a weekly VAL area low or a weekly VAL area high, that's more indicative to me. That's higher time frame participation to me. And then as far as taking approaches the momentum, so you think I should order them, so it's just noise. Yeah, so I mean, and here's the other layer of it. I don't know which level is going to hold or not. I truly do not know. I can just assume, and that assumption is like not enough for me to not take profit. Things change on a dime, right? So if I'm taking my profits as I do, my system is level to level, that to me is okay. I don't mind not missing an additional 10, 15, 20 point move, because for me, I've noticed that over time, as the market shifts regimes, and this is important, right? Regimes shifts happen. When those regimes shift, the take profits that you normally would be accustomed to taking, 20 points, 30 points, they start to shrink when momentum shifts or regimes change. Now you're only getting 10 points and then you get stopped out, but you didn't take profit because you always own for 30, right? But then that takes some time for your system to be able to acclimate to that new regime, because you're acclimated or you're accustomed to taking profits at the other side of the extreme. And so that takes some tweaking and some calibration as you review the trading day or week before you can notice that change in regime. For me, I don't want to be a part of having to acclimate. I just take profits at the levels that I know have been prior value areas or areas of interest for reclaims, and I will just take profit robotically at those areas. And if I miss a 50 point take profit on a lot, I don't care. I don't lose sleep over that. I know that over time my system evens out and it's going to be better. I'm going to be better off. Because how many times have you held a trade and you're in a specific trend or environment, and every time always hits 30 points, no, guaranteed 30 points, 30 points. And then there comes a week where it's like it goes 20 points or maybe 15, and then it comes and hits your stop. And you're like, I didn't get to 30 today. Shit. You go again another day. It goes 30. That's what you've been taking, or that's what normally would happen, and then it only goes 10. And then you get stopped out again. Or the inverse. The inverse happens too, and I'll explain that in a little bit. You hold for over 2 days or over the night. I do, yeah. I will hold overnight, or I will trade and swing if it calls for it. Right now we're in a balanced market, so I find it difficult to hold for more than 2 days. But if it comes around that we end up getting a little more trendy, then that might work. So I do look at weekly swings. I look at prior month value areas. You can see on my chart, it's kind of messy right now. I need to clean it up, but if you open up a higher time frame, I have monthly levels here. Prior month value are high, current month value are high. I have the monthly levels drawn out that I do reference. Those are higher quality setups that I will definitely size up into when they're higher time frame trends. That will also dictate my size, if it's depending if it what time frame the level is at. I have more time to read your blog on weekend. We'll read it a bit. You know, the thing about the blog is, like, you can just play it. You don't have to listen to it. It has a play button there. You can just listen to it if you're busy. Your answers are so incredible, in my opinion. Maybe not, but you're so instructive. Yeah, I mean, if there's any questions, I'm glad you enjoy it. I appreciate it. I enjoy your style. We trade similar, but then I see you have a lot more years on your back. And I mean, the years can be irrelevant sometimes. Some people learn faster or better. You may be better. I promise I just get stopped out, but however, I am always in the direction of the market. Well, that's a very common thing where you see, where you have the direction right, but you get stopped out. Yeah, I hear that all the time. And it quite simply comes down to, and I never know exactly what people are doing on the other side of the screen, but I know what I've done before. And it's the whole idea of like, two things. It's not putting the stop loss where it needs to go, either because you don't know where it goes or because you're forcing your risk management on the market. The market doesn't give a shit about your risk management. It doesn't care about your $300, $600 needed 2-to-1 stop loss. It cares about where it structurally needs to be. Okay, so structure is more important than your risk to reward, so adjust accordingly. Or two, it's either you move to break even because you want to protect the trade, and that also is a problem. Why are you moving the stop loss? There's no reason to move the stop loss. The only time you move the stop loss is when the structure has broken and a new structure is formed above it. And as an example of that is right now what's going on. Like I've been too distracted talking, which is fine, but right now the new structure has formed. So this is this structure down. This is the new structure that just formed. So technically I should be able to now adjust my stop loss probably around here, below the 20. Oops, this low can be probed still, so somewhere around here. So it just depends. You know, it just depends. To have in is a reason for it too, simply to have in. So it just varies where that problem is. Do you have some insight as to what you're doing maybe with your stops? Like if you give some context, we can kind of just dissect it. Leave it room, yeah. You gotta leave it room. Like you gotta respect the trend. You gotta respect the structure. The VIX, you gotta respect the VIX. I just like to scalp and usually pair on with 4-point stops. Okay, I can't help you. I don't know how to trade like that. To me, a 4-point stop is crazy. I don't know how to help you with that. I'm sorry. I think we both trade completely differently, and a 4-point stop, I'm just way too small for me. I would not know what to do with that. I can't give you any insight there. I never have a 4-point stop. I'll get stopped out guaranteed if I trade with a 4-point stop. I can make it work. I'll just have to enter the trade three to four times probably before it plays out. I didn't get to add to this trade. That's fine. Are those no, they're Renko. And the reason I have Renko is not because I use the Renko, because because I have the like a bookmap style liquidity. It looks cleaner on a Renko chart. So that's the only reason I have a Renko, is because of the liquidity map there. I'm sure we kill the top like the open. The IB set, so it'd be crazy to hit the IB high here. Yeah, I think at this point they've kind of proven that the lows are going to hold. Yesterday's probe yesterday and today's climactic sell-off, that holds. Assuming we close anything above 40s today, 440s, like my assumption here into the rest of the day is As long as we close above 440s minimum, we could break out tomorrow into 520 potentially, depending on momentum. But we'll see how things settle today. I mean, things are not over. It's still very early. We have 5 hours left in the day. For me, I would have to, before I can make a true assessment, I would have to wait till the end of the day. But as of now, it just looks like it failed below. So would you recommend me changing my style of trading based on it? I don't recommend anything. I recommend whatever's best for you. I think that you should figure out what works for you. Some people can make it work. I say, again, I'm just saying what it won't work for me. Like the way I trade, the way I interpret information, the way I find comfort in the market is different from the next guy. So I would say that the best thing to do is to understand who you are, where your comfort and your opportunity lies in the market, based on your personality and your ability to interpret opportunity, and go from there. I don't know what that looks like. Like for me, just to give you a baseline, right? I'm a contrarian at heart. Like to me, a reversal trading just comes the most natural to me. I'm naturally very contrarian. Everything I do outside of trading, contrarian as fuck. Then whatever the social norm is, I don't find comfort in doing that. And that what that means is like trend continuation, breakout trading. I am skeptical of all that. I cannot fathom an idea of trading, being a trend continuation trader primarily or a breakout trader primarily. To me, I'm skeptical. I'm paranoid of that stuff. Being a contrarian, I find comfort. I find understanding. I find the ability to interpret data and find entries. I find comfort in that. I find it easy for me to interpret those, to find those opportunities and to take them. So like to me, to make it simple, there's only 3 types of trading, I would say. There's reversal trading. There's trend continuation trading. Who cares how I spell? You guys know what I mean. And then breakout trading. Those are the primary 3 setups any given day, I would say. Which one of these feel more comfortable with you? Like which ones can you identify on a chart that makes sense to you, that you can day to day execute on based on your personality? Maybe you can do all 3, that's fine, but just pick one, right? I find comfort in the first, and that's where I'm at. I'm open to always taking these setups, but I will never take them in full size. I will always make them smaller than the original position. So yesterday, that was the ad that I took yesterday, a little bit into the morning. So, you know, that's what I would start with. It's like, figure out who you are, you know? What makes the most sense? Because you can use all the indicators in the world. You can have volume profile, you can have gamma levels, you can have all this fancy stuff, but it's not going to change anything until you identify what kind of trader you are. Then those tools make sense. Like those tools, think of them as like, are you a plumber? Are you an electrician? Are you an HVAC professional? Okay. Then you know what tools to use in the market, right? Tools meaning like these indicators. Like pick one of the 3 trades and then utilize the indicators, the tools that make the most sense for that trade. I'm trying to draw parallels here so it makes sense, right? So I create analogies so that there's like a bridge there so you can understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah, of course. You know, like the thing I can never tell someone is you got to do this or that. This is the way you got to trade. Like that's a very improper piece of advice that I have never liked when people say to another person, because there's more than one way to trade. And unfortunately, me telling someone exactly how to do it is the wrong idea. Because some people struggle with certain types of trading. So I mean, if you let me know, you know, what more context of yourself, we can figure it out. I have time. I'm just sitting here doing nothing. The last 5 minutes of giving an answer to fucking life. Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Jim. We're still consolidating. We're still in a massive range. So again, I will add to this trade at some point. If they give me the opportunity and they can come back into the VWAP, we're still consolidating, chopping around. I'm open to adding to this trade still. Again, smaller size though. Like it's going to be only 3 lots that I'll add to the trade. And the original size of the trade was about 19 lots. So like not even a third, like a sixth of the size. And ideally, I'd like to see it upon entry somewhere near VWAP. So 50s here where we are now. I would like to see a pro below VWAP trap, and then a quick reclaim above 60s. If it doesn't do that, I probably have to just close it. You're looking for 37? That's a good spot. Yeah, definitely a good spot. Every year on his breakdown, so he grows up to be an adult that you are. Really like quiet listening for everyone. Hey, thanks, man. That's kind of you. Which piece of advice was it? I feel like I spewed out quite a bit. Quite a bit. Was it the one about understanding yourself? Because that advice definitely is. It's one that I push on to people a lot. It makes people uncomfortable though. And actually, it's a little more direct way of speaking. Maybe that's the problem. Is like I'm like, who the fuck are you? You know, I'm like, yes, your name is Jim, but like, who the fuck is Jim? Like, who are you? Like, who cares about your name? Like, who are you, Jim? Like, what are you? Like, what do you like? Who are you? You're not your name. You're more than that. Okay, so they pro below you up here, and they're reclaiming again. Let's see if they can hold. Okay, I'll bid some here. And yeah, my stop will probably stay there at the 28. I doubt we'll hold. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if they don't, that's fine. They tried, but they're failing right now. The VWAP didn't hold. It might come down to that 37 because that's the value low for the current session. They might want to probe into that and then reclaim. And Q is still weak even though it had a little bit of a bounce. So the add there, I will scale here at 63 or 64. Where's that value high? 68. Yeah, and then we'll target the IBH for the rest. There we go. So we added a few lots. Stop loss trailed here to the 28.5. 50s have to hold for me to want to get this push back into 68, somewhere around there, 65. Value high for the session. If it doesn't hold that, it doesn't push above that, then they'll likely come to the value low, which is 36s right now. NQ is still weak, so I don't know if it's gonna be able to push up. I don't look at the time itself, no. I don't put that much emphasis on all that. I mean, I guess I shouldn't. I guess because I don't really look at it. What do you look for in it that helps you in your trading? In which way does it give you valuable information that it helps you either take a trade or manage a trade? Like, what does it do for you? That information for me, it's like the amount of mental bandwidth it takes to look at it does not correlate with value returned to me. So to me, I have the DOM, and that to me is my time in sales, right? And that to me gives me as much info as I need to make the decision about momentum, because the time in sales is just about momentum, in my opinion, if I were to use it. Daily expected target. I do have one, yeah. The expected move. I just don't post it. It's in another chart over here. I have this one. First standard deviation up, second down. It's right here. So the first standard deviation down for the session is funny because it was actually 396. You see that? The first standard deviation down. The expected move down was 396. We hit exactly that. And the low was about there at 396. The second standard deviation down was 7371. First standard deviation up was 447. Second 472. So I do have the expected daily move on here. It's just on a different chart. I also have it on the NASDAQ. Let me see here. Yeah, the NASDAQ went below all the expected moves. Oh, there's the push. There you go. See, 50's held. VWAP held. Now we're going to make some profit on the ad. Let's go. Are they going to hit me? Dang, bro. We'll see. Valor high as well, but yeah, I don't know if they have enough momentum to push outside of Valor high, given what time is it? Well, it's still early actually. As we kind of inch closer to New York lunch, my expectation of price breaking past Valor high kind of shrinks. There it is. Value high tagged on the ad. We have one more. We have two lots. Sorry. I'm gonna have a runner at IB high, somewhere in between here and the open, and that'll be it pretty much. they hit value high and they rejected. Very good. Nice scale, Rick. And again, this trade was not random. The ad that I made here at 50, it was not random, right? Like I said, the ad was already calculated well in advance before we even arrived to the zone. When I had scaled at the 30s, 40s, I said, if we can hold overnight low and VWAP, after some consolidation, I am open to adding on that reclaim. The consolidation happened, and well, here's the ad, right? It's not an accident. Everything's planned. Everything's always kind of calculated in advance. The take profits are, the ads are. So nothing's done by mistake or by sheer feel or by sheer guess. Right, it's all structure and to some degree analyzed in advance. But they're all just ifs. So if the scenario plays out, then if this, then that. Well, good conversation, man. I appreciate you guys being here and chatting it up. That was fun. So the NQ is approaching VWAP here. I'm going to take some profit and just get down to another one lot, only because I don't know if NQ has the conviction to break VWAP. You can see it's like inching into it right now. Right here. Right this area. If it can hold, great. I have exposure for further upside, but I personally, given this imbalance down and the way it's inching into VWAP, not with velocity, but rather like inching into it, I find comfort in just taking some off and letting it kind of decide if it wants to reclaim VWAP or not after. The risk of it not reclaiming and just rejecting going lower to me is higher than it actually holding and grinding higher. But we'll find out right now when it taps it. Hey. Fabulous. Me too. Bye. It does. Yeah, I will say it looks nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I might add based on how price reacts at 64. Okay, cool. Sure, we hit the prior value low tomorrow evening. I mean, I would say I agree, but it depends. Like for me, it would depend on what happens with the Nasdaq here. Seems like it's been a drag. The Dow is performing so well. I'm surprised. Like it's trending hard today. Look at the Dow. Opened, hit VWAP, pushed past the overnight high and just trended all day. I don't know where the heat map is on that. Let's see. Where is it? Where's the heat map at? I forgot which one it is. Monitor. The charts? Oh, here it is. On down. Oh, it's just all the industrials, every sector essentially except for tech. Huh. Hey, well, look at that. I'm glad I scaled out right there. Look at that. Back to the 58s. Chips are green. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, look at the momentum there. Strong momentum to the downside. Yeah, VWAP, see if it holds. Just gonna trail the stop loss on this one. I don't really want to hold anymore for the day. It seems like it might. There's not much. I wish it was more trendy than what it is. To me, this is kind of a lot of back and forth. Put it right here at the 44. I likely get stopped out on this, but that's fine. A lot of momentum hitting the tape right now. A lot of momentum. Like they're really hitting the tape. Bye-bye. Try your best. Yeah. I'm glad you saw them. Oops. Sorry. They're still trying to hit the tape here. There's a lot of action here, but it is VWAP, so I'm not surprised that the amount of volume transacting is here at the VWAP. There's another spike down. Oh my god, that is not... Bye. Yeah, where are they? There's a box right here. on the couch. This one's a brand new one right here.
It's not open?
No.
Oh, I must have brought it in here.
Alright, see if they break. Federal Reserve announces termination of enforcement action. Oh, that's a different, that's an individual stock thing. Scared or excited? If it breaks, I mean, if it breaks, that would be baffling to me. If it breaks down, that would be very interesting. That's a failed breakdown right here for me right now. Of all this volume, this could be a nice. No, I don't like the. I was gonna say this could be a nice entry within itself, but the amount of tests that we've done here, I'm not really a fan. There's bids coming in on the resting orders and stuff. What do you think of that, Rick? I just made a comment like it could be a good entry based on what I'm seeing, but then again, the flip side of that is like the Nasdaq does not look very pretty. It's still holding below VWAP. It's like not able, it's not, even with this bounce, it has not been able to reclaim VWAP or the overnight low. There's not much confluence there off of that weakness. Like the way I see this right now is like the Nasdaq was the reason we sold off. The Dow did the opposite. It held off pretty well. Nice, good strength. The reason we're down is the Nasdaq, and the one that's going to bring us higher right now is not, to me, is not proving itself that it will hold. Regardless of that, if you have the stop loss where it needs to be, in this case, I would assume like 42, it has to be below the value low, so like 36s or so, you know, then like it could be a good long, and it could break out into the IB high, but yeah, I don't know. I personally right now, my read is like it's hard, man. It's hard. I don't know. The reason I'm not really touching it, I think I would have higher conviction on this trade if it were to come down to the value low and then reclaim the VWAP. So like trade into the 38s and then reclaim. To me, that within itself would be a great entry. But we'll see. Right now, what's got me interested is the amount of volume being transacted and the amount of efforts the sellers are trying to push. No reward so far. Now, that could just be because we're at VWAP and that's just normal behavior. We did probe a little bit below the VWAP again and push back above. So I just yeah, so I mean, again, it could work out. I would size it accordingly based on the quality of the setup, meaning if I were to be entering here, it would be a smaller size trade. It would be a smaller size trade because the location isn't favorable, like AI said. The structure, the volume transactions are there, but the structure of where we are does not constitute higher quality setup or entry. But the setup's there. It's going now. Wow, nice. Yeah, we'll see. NQ, let's see if it can push. It's pushing. If it can hold above VWAP on a push, it'd be good. But I'm not gonna know until it actually gets to VWAP. Hasn't tapped it yet. Rejected again. Wow. Did it hit your target? Let me see where it hit 62. Wow, just a fucking few ticks below 63. TP, oh, that's good. Well, I'm glad. Worked out. They're still battling it out here, but overall, we'll see who takes it. If I get trailed out here, it's probably my only trade for the day. I'm done here. And the rest of the session for me would just be planning. It could be another one at 37 potentially. I don't disagree there. I stopped out right there. That momentum kicked in pretty hard. Update interval? I don't know. You can change that? I have no idea. I had no idea. It's Jigsaw, so I don't know where those settings at. That's a good question because it's whatever factory is. Let me see. I never mess with it. Oh, there it is. Is that... No, that's the clear trade interval. You're using motive wave, Dom? Update interval says 50 right here. What does that mean? 50 seconds? Microseconds? What does that mean? Momentum interval 500 milliseconds. Just below clear trades. Milliseconds. I do want momentum tails. Oh, they're ugly. Oh my god. I used to have the momentum tails on. I haven't changed the colors on them. But I used to have the momentum tails. I remember these little things. Momentum tails are good if you wanna read like if the pace of the DOM is picking up pace or speed based on how it's been transacting before. I think I've kind of, to some degree, I feel like I've developed the second set of eyes for that momentum tail without needing to have it, but it is pretty to have. It looks pretty. Can be distracting though. You can see the momentum, again, push back and forth or whatever. It's kind of cute, but I'll take it off. I don't know, whatever they were, I didn't see. I think it was 50. I do have a DOM too on the oh, this is on the old contract. I haven't rolled it over. Kind of says how much I use it. I don't really like the DOM on Sierra, to be honest. CME. The heck? Oh, I was on the wrong page. MES. There you go. Where do you get your GEX levels? Ooh, that question. I pay for the options data, and then I have a Python script that that reviews the options data and then generates a report. It gets updated upon request, but it's scheduled to do every day at market near the open. So I have a weekly one that it gets generated. And it's funny enough, today's weekly, we were short delta off the open, so that was an indication that if there was going to be a move, it's going to be very amplified on the weekly. And then I have a daily one. So I have two reports that generate from that script. And it's from options data, and it gets a Python script runs it. We have an RTH classifier said open drive. Certainly was. Do you think it's worth? Look, man, if it these questions are very good. It's going to depend. You know, like excuse me. The here's the way I would put it. Okay. Well, one, you can get them here for free. I post them every day. They're posted every day on X. So you don't have to get, if you don't, you can get them for free. Like, I'm not gonna, they're posted every day on my profile. So, you know, whether you should pay for it or not, it's beyond me, but they're free every day, posted on the clock, scheduled every single day. You're never gonna miss them if you have notifications on. But second question, the second part of that question is, where is the best bang for your buck spent as a trader, as a business owner, right? Because when you trade, you're essentially a business. Is it best spent on another indicator that is not already supplementing your profitability? Or is it better spent on a trading journal that's going to help you review trades, to help you refine your trading strategy? Question is, which dollar for dollar provides the best return on value for where you are in your trading? That would be the answer to that question. Is paying for more data or paying for a journal going to provide more value to your trading? And I would assume it's going to be probably a journal. Quite the sell-off. So like, I have a trading journal. What is your X? I can't find it. There's a QR code on the screen. I think if it pops up. Does it pop up? It should, right? Let me see. Oh, it's right there. QR code there. If not, let me find the link here. I'll try to post it. There you go. Now this is breaking down. Definitely, it was an open drive. So I have a trading journal that I've made this one. It's mine, personal. No problem. And in this one, it kind of helps me draw expectations for the session, as also active setups for the day based on the overnight context or data or levels that I give it, and historical backtested trade setups that I've incorporated into the journal. So the first setup would have been the overnight high failed breakout. It never triggered because it didn't hit it overnight high. The other setup was the weekly VAL area low failed breakdown, and then the IBL failed breakdown for the day. It classifies the open. Today was an open drive. And on the open drive, it says trade with the drive, do not fade it. Wait for a weak low volume retest of the opening bar's range for entry. We came right, actually that push into the 70s was the opening range. Then reclaim a VWAP from the wrong side aboard the signal. So let's see, price versus at open above VWAP. And then from here it tells you kind of what to expect, where to trigger or where to take profit on average, what's historically the best place to do that. So I think a trade journal is very beneficial. If you can make your own with an AI, if you have the time and patience to be able to do it, very beneficial. If you don't, then, you know, I guess you leasing one from someone who already has one, or software that already does one. is also good. I'm not looking for anything, so I'm not gonna answer that. Sorry. I'm not interested in anything. If I'm not gonna put risk on the table, I would hate to say yes, no, because then I'm just like, there's a difference between putting risk on and being like, yeah, I like this fucking long right here. That to me is like, that's my word and my bond to the trade, as opposed to just saying, yeah, it looks good here, and if it fails, I could give two shits, right? Like, it's not gonna affect me. I don't like that kind of not having that attachment to the trade, like actual like skin in the game and saying that. I feel like that's not fair. So the only setup I would say, if I really had to gun to my head say, it would only be a failed breakdown of this area. I really needed to make a decision and tell you a good setup would be, we trade below the IBL and then we reclaim back above. That would be the only trade I would say yes to. It would be a trade that I'd be willing to try. If it happened. Trade below this low right here. The 390s. Initial balance low. The first hour, the first high and low of the first hour of trade for the New York session. The IB high is the high from the open, first hour of the open, and the IB low is the low from the first hour of the open. So the reason I discuss those is because every day I reference to there's statistical probability levels based on historical backtests that I've done that based on stats for the last 6 years, almost 6 years, 5 years, there's probability zones that are high quality to reference these stats here, and it's for the S&P. So the statistical probability of hitting an overnight high or low or touching 90% of trading an overnight high or low on any given day. One or the other, not both, because hitting both, there is actually a 20% chance of hitting both on a day. And the same thing with the IB. So we'll go to the most recent stats. So these stats here, the overnight high or low touch, 90% chance, 99, that the overnight high or low will touch. For the initial balance, IB high or low, at least one breaking, there's a 78% chance. These are the two highest probability targets that have meaningful alpha on any given day. So I always reference them, either for targets or for mostly for targets on a trading session. Sellers are aggressive today, man. Wildin'. What else how to dance? So the NQ is holding the value low on this little bit of a dip. Interesting. There's a squeeze if it comes. If the NQ can somehow manage to trade above the VWAP today, they will likely want to take out the IB high today on the S&P. IB high is all the way there at 490. So that we haven't broken the IB high or low so far, right? The 100 point today's range is 100 points. What the fuck? That's nuts. I mean, think about 100 point intraday range. Yo, that is wild. That is crazy. 100%. I didn't even think about that. High to low, 100 points, bro. That is wild. So what I think is if the NQ somehow manages, if it does get above the VWAP, it can hold that. We can certainly, I can see a place where we trade the IB high for the day. But we're not quite there. As you can see, the NQ is still inside this consolidation. I used to have a footprint chart. It has value, certainly. I don't look at one, but it certainly has a lot of value in it. I don't have a footprint chart open. But they have good context for sure. Ugh. At all. Well, I mean, honestly, they keep hitting the tape, these sellers, bro. Dang. They just don't have enough power to hold it down. I likely will not take another trade today. I'm gonna this will probably be it. Again, the only interesting setup would be a failed breakdown of that low right there, the IBL. And the reason is it's because if we go down there on low volume, that would trap more bears. Plus, you have that put wall that adds a layer of liquidity to a reversal. So you get if you get a low volume probe below the IB, and then a reclaim above the put wall, that will accelerate a reversal, because market makers have to rebid. They have to start buying back above the put wall, and that will trap any late sellers that came in on low volume the second half of the day. It'll probably create a snapback rally to the 20s again, and then from there we'll see if it goes to 40s or so. That would be the only setup I would like later into the day. And even then I would take it smaller size. Ugh. How old am I? How old do you think I am, man? There's no wrong answer here. Feel free to take a shot. I'll answer after that. $32, that's close. I'm 30. I'm gonna be 31 in July, so close. You're right on the dot. That's a good range. I'm 31 in July, so I turned 31 a month from today. So you're right on it. Good guess, man. How old are you? Hmm. 20? Oh, you're young, brother. You're young. Cool. I guess the next reasonable question is, what got you into trading so young? Started trading when I was 16. Oh shoot. Hey, thanks. Happy birthday. Oh, thanks. It's in a month from today, so July 24. 36, Jim. Let's go. You're still young too, man. Nice. Started trading when I was 16. I always knew that's what I like to do. Well, cool. Trading. Well, yeah, trading is good. I mean, do you the question then I will ask as it relates to that, do you have a long-term stock portfolio? Your answers are a lot more mature than your age. Yeah, I unfortunately have had to grow up a little sooner than I would like. I think that probably has a lot to do with it. But thank you. I appreciate that. Can't have stocks right now. I'm not a US citizen. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Die down. I've got 3 houses as my portfolio. That's more than enough. That's good. Certainly want to have exposure to housing market and the I'm not sure what country you live in. I mean, what country do you live in then? I'm 2x your age, by the way. Oh, you're older than me, Jim. Oh, I thought you were 36. I thought you were guessing my age. I'm sorry. You're 2x older than me? What is that, like 60? No way. My man, Jim. Oh, cool, man. Nice. No, yeah, I'm sorry. You're 68? Oh, okay, cool. We're all young. Dude, okay. This is a story. I was at the gym. This is a while ago. I was at the gym working out. I think I was like 20 some at the time. 23? 7 years ago. Yeah, 16 years young is correct. Because look, I was at the gym at 23 years old. And there's this guy next to me. And I'm not trying to say like I work out hard, but I don't work out half-assed. There's this guy next to me. I thought he was like younger. I don't remember. I think like 40s, mid 40s. He was working out fucking hard and he was fit as hell. And then I don't know how it happened. I talked to him. He was 68. He was actually 68 years old. He looked 20 years younger. And the amount of energy that guy had was certainly not the age that I thought. So age is a number, certainly. A number. Oh, here's another story. I did a 10K run last year. I did that 10K. I finished in top 10. There was a guy behind me. I think like 30 seconds slower. No more than, I think 20 or 30 seconds slower than me. He was 72. And my average per mile was 7 minutes on that 10K. It's 3 miles, 7 minutes per mile, 21 minutes. So 21 minutes or so is what my 10K speed was, or No, it's 5 miles. 5 miles, 7:35, 35, something like 36, 35. The guy was 72 years old and he was just as fast as I was. 72 years old. And I was like, it just says a lot. It says a lot. 68 is not old or anything. I've seen guys that are actually another one. I did the 10K in the beginning of the year, somewhere close to here. There was a guy who was 64 years old. He got first place. I'm sorry, it was a 5K that time. These are all runs, by the way. 5 minutes, 45 seconds per mile. He finished first place. He beat all the people that were younger than him. These were kids in track and field in high school and some college athletes, and of course me. I'm not that fast. First place, 64 years old. So anything near the 60s, I've had my fair share of experiences that prime performance is still there, you know? And this has all happened within the last 7 years. It's these instances where I've met these people. So I don't think that age means much. Just some context there. So yeah, I'm 30. But I'm still young. Are you guys all in the US? Or are we in other countries? I know we had another gentleman who was from Hong Kong. Seems like a lot of people that trade are not in the US, at least the ones that I've come in contact. Kazakhstan. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up because I don't know where it is. So give me a sec. I still work out, but can't like I used to because of run injuries anymore. But most people 60. Yeah, no, that's good. Those guys you're talking about are studs. Takes hard work to keep that level of fitness above 40. Trust me, I'm 46. I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know, right? I'm not that age yet, so I have no idea. What I can say is the level of discipline and commitment helps a lot over time. I don't know the amount of energy that it does or doesn't give you as you kind of progress in life, but I can guarantee you those guys didn't look 15% body fat or anything, but they certainly had the muscle and discipline probably established through years of training and working out. I'm native German, but kind of was living half my life in Thailand. Cool. Currently in Germany again. How cool, man. How was Thailand? I've been there before. I went a couple years back. A lot of older people in the US take TRT. I think. Well, you're not from the US, so I don't know. And I don't think you know. So let's just keep it as we don't know. I don't know personally, so I have no clue. I don't think that comment has any relevance. Since you're not in the country. You don't engage with people in the US. So let's just keep it as never said, never heard. Central Asia. Okay, cool. Kazakhstan. Central Asia. Very good. Never heard of it, to be honest. First time I see this name. See where it's located exactly. Yeah, how'd you like Thailand, Mr. AI? Oh, here's another thing. I think Donald Trump's 80 years old. How old is this guy? Yeah, he's 80. He's old as fuck. The guy old as fuck. I don't know if he's sharp or anything, but I mean, to be in the position he's in and not die of stress, I mean, you know, that's something for sure. That the age thing, again, just adding to that layer of the age is not really indicative of much. Hot food is nice. People are nice. The plan is going to back some point. Europe is kind of something else these days. Gotcha. Putin is also 80. No way. Let's see. Yeah, it says 73. So yeah, pretty up there. You know. No careers I grew up with look like crap. Yeah, he's old though. Yeah, he is old, definitely. Even though it's not 80, it's still old. My peer, you know what? That's unfortunately not uncommon. Let's just say I have the same experience. I have a very similar experience. I think that relates maybe more to the US. I don't know if that's true all around, because I went to Switzerland, and based on my observations, I don't know if Swiss people are just not obese, or they just, I think their lifestyle is just, it doesn't allow for that. But I think it's maybe a US thing. Because when I was in Switzerland, I swear obesity is like non-existent from where I went. I was there for 2 weeks. Thailand was nice too. I mean, I went there. You want to go back? What parts of Thailand did you want to go back to? I had gone to Phuket, Bangkok, and what was the other place? It was just those two, and then Koh Yao Yai, the island across from Phuket. But I didn't go to all Thailand, only a few places. Very small. So I just think it depends on the country. And lifestyles are different. Mountains burn calories. Yeah, well, it seems like a lot of the people in Switzerland, they're it's normal to just commute or bike, like walk or bike. It's like a common transportation in there. Hua Hin, okay. Beach close to Bangkok. Nice. I didn't hear, but I haven't looked it up, but I'll check it out. Bangkok is so cool. I mean, honestly, I was impressed with Bangkok, I will say. It was a lot more developed than I would have thought it was going to be. My expectations, not to say they were low, but I just didn't expect what I saw. It was really nice. Very pretty city. Dude, this is massive chop, bro. This is so bad. Look at this. We just keep trading in a massive range between these two areas. Honestly, if I had to put my finger on it, look, the way I look at this from a volume profile perspective is we hit the prior month point of control 1, 2, 3 times. We hit the prior month VAL area low 1, 2, 3 times. We keep holding below the point of control. So think of this, or this is all one auction right here. This is all the prior month auction. Prior control. Like this. We're rejecting below the bottom half of the monthly point of control. On a higher time frame, this holding below 20s is just simply going to come down to 30 to 55s. On a higher time frame. So we're holding below the prior month point of control. We've rejected 3 times. We fell off. We broke down or rejected from the prior month value high at the 90s, 600s, holding below the point of control on the bottom half of the auction, while we're still testing the same month value low. So if we hold below this, this is likely just going to come to the current month value low, which is here at 355. And then below that, then there's another auction here at 321. So on a higher time frame, it certainly looks like we're going lower based on those rejections at point of control. I don't know why it says MP. It should be PM. Yeah, I just labeled it wrong. PM. So yeah. It's always awake. Never sleeps. The fact that you can eat anything at any time in no way. I came across that when we were in Hong Kong, which has baffled me how late they were open too. Things were open till like 4 a.m. It's not common here in the US. So what made you move from away from Germany out to Thailand? Playlist is no good. Yeah. Cool and collective. Treaded water, I know. Burn out, too much work from 6 years, too much success. New things. Oh, cool, man. Congrats to you. I'm glad. Glad you had you made that time to actually, you know, slow things down. Goldsmith, also Goldsmith. Okay, interesting. Interesting career for sure. On her, first time I'm hearing that. Production side of the industry. Well, I'm assuming it worked out well because you stayed there. New water, I know. Play cool, baby. Play cool. On Tasty, they say 2-hour holding no longer makes much sense since market fade out. On Tasty trades, you're talking about Tasty trades, right? The options, channel. They recovered right back to 50s. What the I just saw that. I just was a little distracted, but man. NQ again, if the NQ recovers VWAP at some point today, I can see a run into the IB high at 490. I'm open to that idea. It's smaller sized. I'm not sure if it happens now. Might happen in an hour. Which I likely will not be here for anymore. But I'll certainly set up I'm going to set up a price alert for that setup if it does happen. I'm going to keep an eye for that setup to happen into the rest of the day. So put an alert, enable, last, above the trigger once. Oh, I clicked the wrong alert though. Right now it doesn't make sense. I agree. The regime shifted, you know, from this market is completely different one from April through May, or even early June. This market is completely different. It's a different market. It's no longer the same, right? So if you look at this market, this whole, all of this from here, from March, or even, no, April, from the beginning of April to today, it's a different market. It's completely shifted ever since we broke down here the 600s. So from the beginning of June, things have changed. Yeah, so we're consolidating. We're essentially in a very long base. Something like so, right? There probably is like extremes here and there, here and here. But more or less, like this is the large base here. We're going to be here for some time, I assume, because we still have some earnings rolling out in July and August. So this is probably our playground for a good another month or two before the next set of earnings roll out. And so this market is completely different. We're not in a trending environment. We're going to run up for a whole day. It seems to be more mean reverting market. All right, well, I'm gonna bounce, guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I appreciate you guys being here today and chatting it up. That was fun. I'll be back tomorrow, God willing. Again, the setup here is if we can somehow reclaim that that area right there on the Nasdaq. We can hold that. I'm open to a lawn to test into VWAP. I'm sorry, into IBH, or the failed breakdown of the IB low down here at the 390. So who knows which ones plays out. I will just let the market decide, and I let price alert. I'll have price alerts at both extremes. I'll see you guys on the next one. I hope you guys have a good rest of your session.